You can come in, the door's open. Well, hello there, Snowflake. Indeed it has. Yes, they released me earlier. Come in. I've missed you too, darling. It's been far too long. I know, sweetheart. Sadly, well, I had to recover. Still in the process of recovering. Let's be grateful they let me out in the first place. Staying in there any longer, and I think I might have withered away. Ugh, it was terribly boring. I'd much rather not think about it. Well, why don't we start with you? How have you been since I've been gone? I'm glad. Keeping up on your training, correct? You try. What do you mean you try? Sounds like your procrastination has caught up with you again. Always trying and never doing. Seemed to be quite a common thing for you. Precisely why I had been teaching you. Right. That comment wasn't necessary. You can't hold it over my head forever. You shouldn't be holding it over my head in general. I think that's the last thing you should be doing. Najanda would definitely have choice words for you if she had heard that out of your mouth. Well, seeing as I have to talk to her almost every single day now, well, I think it speaks for itself. Our relationship has always been interesting. Leaving the Empire and joining the Revolutionary Army doesn't quite change anything. The amount of respect I have for her, well, that differs, that's for certain, but that's also far from your concern. Back to the latter, that comment. What did you gain from saying something like that? I understand that you're upset with me. Right. Then what exactly is the right word? I think no matter what word I use here, Snowflake, I don't quite think anything is quite going to describe what's going through your head. Nonetheless, my own. Precisely. Well, from what the doctor said, it's not exactly going to get better from here on out. If anything, sometimes it'll get worse. Yes, I know. I did that to myself. Like I was expecting it to go that far. Clairvoyance. Who knew that someone would get a hold of the headhunter's imperial arms? I didn't think that through. I know I do. I think everything through. There's not a backup plan that I haven't ever had. But regardless, the things I had seen, there are a lot of things that I don't talk about, Snowflake. And that's always been for the better. There's no need to talk about it. talking never changes the past. You sound like Najda. Talking doesn't change the past, but it can change how you feel about the past. Well, that doesn't quite do me good. I beg your pardon. Your comments need to stop. I understand that you're upset. That doesn't mean you take it out on me. Better than on myself than anybody else. A turning point in the war or not, where this war lies, the fact that it has been going on for years, the fact that it took my family from me. Snowflake, the entirety of the Pardis clan is gone. Withered away because all of my life I had called them weak. Because my father's dying words to me had simply been, we hadn't survived because we were weak as death. You were strong. Those had been the words that I had lived by for so long. I went on to join the Imperials. The Empire offered me a job in the government when I was no older than 17. I had started training in their barracks under 16, fighting through martial arts tournaments, thriving and surviving out in the wilderness, meeting new people, having new experiences. There were so many things, even now, looking back on it all. I entered this war much for the sake of other people. It was a chance to get my anger out at this world, a chance to fight, a chance to finally hope that maybe, just maybe, there will be someone out there that would prove to me that I am weak. But alas, I've been strong for far too long. Still I am. Just not in a different sense, I suppose. Strong physically. I have to be strong mentally as well. But there's an instance in where being too strong, well, it speaks for itself. There's an instability that came with it. The demon's extract, my imperial arms, as you know. There was always this constant battle for dominance. I won it over, of course, but when the imperial arms was used on me, it reawakened things that were better off left dead. Memories that should have remained buried. And of course, just like the normal folk, I too have fears. Misfortunes, I suppose. Weaknesses. Nobody goes around giving other people their weaknesses. Well, that's just stupid. And as is, I think fire would beat ice on any day. Only your flames, darling. Either way, sunshine. Well, you don't quite let me finish my sentences anymore now, do you? You needn't apologize, it's quite all right. Yeah, the injury I sustained, It's mostly at my throat. Holding conversations are difficult. Maintaining my voice alone is sometimes rather hard. It's painful to swallow sometimes. Phantom pains. The doctor said it would take quite some time for it to go back to being normal, but to be expected. Well, to take out the strong, you need to think like the strong, and, well, I am the strong. I know. I know. And I hold no ill against you. There's nothing wrong with anything you really said. It's not like you're wrong. You're right. You have every right to be upset with me. Every right to be angry. Take it out on me as you'd like, but I'd much rather you not. I don't have the temperament for it. And if your body winds up on the floor, well, sounds like Najanda's problem to deal with. Well, I would be soon to follow, so it doesn't quite matter. Snowflake, I wasn't thinking properly. The Imperial arms that I was under, the things I saw, I couldn't fathom those concepts. They weren't pleasant in the slightest. But I'm here. I'm still standing before you. Probably. Well, it's gonna take time. Yes, that's what I had been told. Not certain. So that there was a possibility for it to flare up whenever it pleased. I'm trying not to think too much about it, Snowflake. Just come into my arms. Please. It's been so long since I've last seen you. And I've missed you dearly. I know. I know. I am aware. You don't need to keep reminding me. I promise. It's not an empty promise, mind you. But it's not. I can't prove that to you. I understand that. A betrayal I promised. I know I promised before. Then I'll show you. That is my only option left. If you can't take my word, then you'll have to take my actions in place. And then I hope you see it. That's all I can offer, Snowflake. Call it a deal of sorts instead, if you don't want to believe that promise of mine. Yes, we can even pinky promise it. Gosh, you're such a child. Adorable. If I break it, you're free to break my pinky. Or take my life. Bit soon, I know. You have to laugh, Snowflake. That's what I did. Because who the hell thinks that the strongest would take them out? Well, it's difficult. All of it is difficult to explain. I don't think any amount of time would explain it well enough. And both you and I don't have the time for that. Well, Snowflake, it's 4 in the morning. Sleep sounds like it would do you good. And sadly, as I'm sure you can hear, yes, it's starting to hurt. Yes, I'll take painkillers. It'll be alright. You don't need to worry as much as you are. I know it's hard, and I know I've given you all the reason in the world to worry. I can't take that away, Snowflake, but I hope you'll trust me. Come here, please. Every night I was there, I longed to have you back in my arms, to feel your warmth. I love you, Snowflake. I hope no matter what happens, what I might do, I hope you always know that. I promise. Even if you might think it's empty, I will always do my best to be here. I can at least say that for certain. Things might happen. Sometimes we might not see each other for quite some time. But I will always come back. Of course, Snowflake. Yes. One of these days, things like that will be the least of our worries. This war will be over. We'll get to live peacefully, calmly, and we'll be able to wake up every morning to you in my arms. And of course, whatever your heart desires. Now, let's get some rest, Snowflake, shall we?